Assalamu alaikum. It's a hot coffee and good vibes Saturday morning. You're tuned in to the Sajdah Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel, and this is the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talk, or the Saturday edition of the Morning Coffee Talks. So, we're going to talk about some life, love, and business here in a few short minutes. I'll be right back. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Make sure you tell them jump on right now, and we'll see you in a few. Get on up, come on in the room.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible...
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you all. It's a hot coffee, good vibes type of morning. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Sajdah Morning Coffee Talks. If you tuned in yesterday, you know we talked about, I started off giving tribute to my dad, whose birth anniversary was yesterday, but we ended up on a whole nother subject, and it was really good. It's just something that came. And so this morning, probably about 2:30, I just kind of came into a little bit of consciousness, and what I want to talk to you about today just came to me very clearly. So what y'all sipping on? I got some hot coffee this morning in my boss lady cup. Yeah, I see y'all in the chat. Y'all up in here today. Thank you, Brother Lamont. Brother Lamont says Friday was a beautiful show. All praises due to Allah. Make sure you all like and subscribe. The love offerings are greatly appreciated. Sister Betty says, happy Saturday morning. I see you, Brother Lamont. Wa alaikum salam. Sister Nubia Latifa says, happy Saturday. Oh, Sister Alita, Saturday blessings. Yes, yes. Sister Betty says she got her some hazelnut. That sounds good. What else y'all sipping on? Okay, so a couple of things. We are ramping up with Sajdah House, so I can't wait. I keep saying I'm gonna tell y'all about it, but then something said just wait. Okay, so we're gonna wait. Keen X Robinson says, Assalamu alaikum, says, wa alaikum salam, Keen X Robinson. Make sure you got your commemorative Elijah coin. You're going to want to make sure you have this summer and this fall. Trust me. Okay. And we definitely appreciate the love offerings. So I've been doing a lot of meetings lately, and I think I told you all that around my father's birth anniversary, a lot of business opportunities start to open for me. And so I've been going to a lot of meetings, just talking about business and putting some deals together, and been really blessed to be at some good tables the last couple of weeks. And there's a theme that I noticed. And even last night when I meditated before I went to sleep, I started just kind of thinking about it. And then again, like I said, I woke up and just kind of had this download that I wanted to share. And there's a theme that I noticed, especially with a lot of us with a colonialized mindset, or that have a colonialized history. We got a colonialized vibration. We are always looking for a favor. We go into every situation looking for somebody to help us, to hook us up. Like, man, if I could just get somebody to help me, if I could just get a break, if I could just get, somebody to hire me, if I could just get somebody to do something for me. And then we raise our children like that. And then we get these youth who are constantly like, man, I want somebody to do something for me. And then we grow up, even children, but a lot of people grow up to judge people based upon whatever they do for them. And so a lot of our relationships are not pure. They're based on what you do for me and what I do for you. Now, don't get me wrong. It's always contractual, right? There's always something that a person comes to the table for. And so you're always going to have to give something. But a lot of times that's our primary focus. And this is what came to me this morning to talk about today. It said, stop being, literally, I rolled over and wrote this in my phone because this is what came to my brain. This is what I downloaded. Stop being at the mercy of someone's favor and be the reason doors are opening. Be the answer to someone's prayers. Someone has been waiting on somebody like you to come along. Let's break that down. Let's unpack that, dissect that a little bit, drill down on it. First part said, stop being at the mercy of someone's favor and be the reason doors are opening. When I go to these meetings, my mindset is never, man, I hope they can do this for me. I hope they can give me this contract. Hope they can give me what I need. I am saying to myself, and I believe this, that I am the reason that doors are open. Because I'm very familiar with being on projects and doing things that have never been done before. And because I walk into the room, certain doors are opening for that group. Now, some of us are scared of that because that sounds arrogant. It sounds boastful, but it's not. See, it takes certain types of energies to make certain things happen. Okay. You may have a certain product or service that'll never get introduced into the market, can never get off the ground. And maybe they've been trying for years, but they just needed that one ingredient that was you. And so I walk in the room saying, I'm that ingredient. I'm the reason why the doors on this situation are about to open. I'm the change that they're looking for. I'm the help that they need. And so I go in there with the intention to serve. Obviously, it's business, so I'm not serving per se for free, but I know that I'm the ingredient that they're looking for. If I was interviewing, I say, I know y'all been looking for a person just like me. I'm not going in there going, man, I need this job. Please give me this job. Please let them hire me, Lord. Please let me. No. Allah, allow me to walk into a situation where somebody's been waiting on somebody just like me. It's a different vibration. See, because if I go in begging and I am at the mercy of someone's favor, like this ain't gonna get done, I ain't gonna eat if you don't give me a favor. If you don't do me a favor, if you don't do something for me, that's a different vibration than based on my image, how I am, the way I show up as the image and likeness of God, the way I show up to the meeting, the way I show up to the situation is answering somebody's prayer. That's a different vibration. The next part says, be the answer to someone's prayer. So there's some employer out there who's been praying for somebody with the skill sets that you have. They've been praying for somebody to come and offer them the services that your business provides. They've been begging for somebody to come along. And so even when you have that mindset, when you walk into the room, let me tell you another trick. Even if they didn't know they was looking for you, they're going to feel like they've been looking for you because that's how you show up to the space. You're not showing up like, oh my God, if I don't get 10 deals, if I don't make 10 connections or 10 sales this week, oh Lord, I'm not going to make it, or they're going to fire me, or I'm not going to eat, or oh my God, I'm off my goal. No, no, no. Lord, I'm going out today. Here's my goal to get 10 products placed, or cars sold, or insurance policies placed, or whatever you sell, whatever you do. My goal is to get 10 this week and to find 10 people or more who are looking for exactly what I have to offer and who are looking for somebody just like me to interact with. And when you begin to see yourself as a blessing and you begin to take responsibility as a blessing, you're not a burden on people. See, part of why y'all don't get what you want, and I'm going to speak like this because I get people all the time asking me for favors. People who just say, well, you know, put me on, help me. It's because you're not of service. You're begging. My father told me that when you constantly beg, it makes folks hate you. Now, I don't know if that's a little bit of an extreme statement that he was making just to get a point across to us. It would be something simple like he would be eating ice cream and we would ask for some. And he'd say, stop begging, make folks hate you. Go get your own. And that became part of a money psychology issue that I had to unpack and unravel. But many of us are not successful because we're always looking for a favor. Even when we get a job, we feel like it's a favor. We're looking for somebody to do us a favor. And when times get tight, people don't want to do nobody a favor. See, when the good times is rolling, folks will do favors. But when money's tight, people are stressed, they're not trying to do you no favor. They may have the same job opening and you may be just as qualified, but just because your approach is different, you may not get that job in today's environment. But if you go into it and say, you know what? I'm what they're looking for. I'm exactly what they need. I'm the person they should cast in this role. I'm the person that should sit on this board. I am exactly what they need. And you go there with that understanding. You're speaking from that space. You're presenting from that space. You're serving from that space. But you first got to know who you are. But we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But I want us to shift a little bit, just that little tweak. This is what coaching is all about. It's like if you play tennis and you keep hitting the ball in the net and your coach comes and says, if you just bend your knees a little bit and then swing, it'll go right over the net. Or if you keep hitting the rim with the basket and the coach says, you need to bend your knees a little bit. You need to change the arc of your arm a little bit. This is what coaching is all about. We're going to tweak this mindset. See, a lot of us go through so much. We have so much trauma. We struggling. We got bill collectors. We worried. Are we going to be able to pay our mortgage? Are we going to be able to pay our car note? Are we going to be able to send our children to school? So we're so worried. So we move into this space. The trauma and the pain and the fear that we're creating pulls us into this space of begging and wanting favor. I just need somebody to do something for me. Even when you get your check, you're getting your check because you are the answer to whatever it is that they needed that they're compensating you for. Not because you so poor and broke down that you don't know what you would do if you didn't get this. When you walk into the room, you take charge of the atmosphere. I'm exactly what is needed right now in this room. I am exactly what is needed on this block. I am exactly what is needed in this coffee shop right now I'm walking into. But there's something about me and my vibration that is needed right now at this moment, in this place, and this time that I'm in. Stop being at the mercy of someone's favor and be the reason doors are opening. Someone has been waiting on somebody like you to come along. It's true in relationships. We get into a relationship, we start panicking, we start negotiating. We don't even know the person good. We go in our brain, oh, this could be my man. This could be my woman. And then we start moving like that's the case, and like we just wish and hope and pray that they pay attention to us, when at the end of the day, you should be the reason that doors open up. You should be what is needed right now in that person's life. And if you're not, you move around. Because guess what? You don't want to be there if you're not supposed to be there. It's like wasting your time sitting in a 2-hour meeting and they wasn't looking for somebody like you and don't even want you there and don't want to be bothered with you. This is why as Muslims, we don't go where we're not wanted. We're careful about that. Because there's divinity in who we are. We understand the divinity in who we are. And the divinity in who we are is what puts us in the right place at the right time. Thank you, Brother Anthony or Sister Karima, for writing that out. Stop being at the mercy of someone's favor and be the reason that doors are opening. And I like the way they emphasize the be. Because we always talk about I am, that you have to be, am, and be. Who are you? Who do you have to become in order to have what you want? So when your being is that person, when you have become who you are, who you want to be, who you need to be, in order to have what you want, then when you walk into that room, you can understand that you are the person that is needed right now. And this can be very offensive to some people, because people may think that we're coming from an arrogant standpoint. But no, when we are practicing conscious entrepreneurship and being mindful of our behaviors that we've been learning, and through proper handling of people and the civilized lifestyle that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to teach us, as we take that and overlay that into our business practices, we're not showing up in arrogance. We're not showing up as a sociopath or a narcissist. That's not what this is at all. We're showing up to serve, and we're looking for the best place to show and demonstrate that God is present in our world of business. We're looking for the best place. Allah, where do you want to show up today? So we're trying to fine tune and tweak who we are so that we show up at the right place and the right time, so that we can fulfill our divine assignment and then be of service to you. So we're not saying to you, do us a favor. Even if we technically need a favor, guess what? You probably needed to do somebody a favor at that point in time. Again, that's not to be arrogant. I've had people ask me for a favor and I said yes, but I needed to do that favor for them because I needed to be where I needed to be to do them that favor. And then I got another blessing in return. Or maybe my vibration needed to be raised because I was kind of getting into a space of gimme. And so I needed to be of service. So right there at that moment, the universe said, let me get somebody to ask you for a favor because we need to tweak your vibration a little bit. So we're not talking about arrogance or narcissism at all. When I see you and you see me, we are exactly what one another needed at that point in time. Let me know if y'all getting this. Let me know if you're getting this. Let's see. Brother Lamont said, that's right. Move around. Yeah, you do have to know when to move around and how to move around. Again, we're not narcissists. We don't practice sociopathic behavior. We don't abuse people. We don't lie and make up stuff just to get ourselves in a situation. And, all of these manipulative things that people are being taught that they need to do in order to gain favor. That is so far off the path of living the lifestyle and the life that we know that we need to live to line up with our purpose here on earth. That is so far off. We're not gossiping, we're not lying on nobody, we're not slandering, we're not making false assumptions about something intentionally or unintentionally. We're just not doing that. We're saying doors are going to open for me because I'm here. It's my turn. It's time. These phone calls that I'm making, there is somebody on the other end of one of these calls that needs to hear exactly what it is that I need to say. And in turn, right, it's karmic. In turn, they're going to say something that I needed to hear. It might be yes. Yes, I'll purchase. It might be yes, I'll support. It might be yes, I'll be there. Or it might be no. It might be no, I don't think so. No, I can't do it. No, I don't want to help you. This is why it's so important that you're spiritually in tune with yourself. So when people ask you for things, you have to have the capacity to say, I don't have the emotional capacity for that right now. Sometimes I can tell when I'm interacting with somebody that the vibration is so off that I have to say, I don't have the emotional capacity right now to deal with that, or that's just not the direction I need to be going in that moment. So my goal when I'm in situations is to try to serve. There's been times when even when I was younger, in college, in between jobs, in between places, if I stayed with someone or helped somebody out, I always tried to be of more service value than what I received. To where, if I went and stayed with somebody, let's say, I had to travel for an interview, and I remember when I first started off in consulting, I would have these short trips, and sometimes they may be, in a city where I have a relative or a family member or something. I'd be in Atlanta, stay at my cousin's house or whatever, save the money. And I would find a way to be of service and to help her. And she'd be like, girl, I don't want you to go back. Get you a job down here. Stay down here. That's because we want to be an asset. You want people to want you to come back. You don't want people to go, whew, she was such an emotional burden. Even if I got stuff that I got going on, and I try not to be a burden to somebody else. And I try to be of service. How can I be of service? Even if we're on the phone and we pick up the phone and we're talking to each other, I try to make sure that I'm conscious of the volley that needs to happen in the communication process, so that when you get off the phone, you can feel good about having the conversation as well. I'm not going to just jump from subject to subject to subject to subject, when really you might have something in your heart that you needed to say. You may have some pain or something you're going through that you needed to say. And if I'm in a position where you're in so much pain and you got so much going on that I cannot be of service to you at that moment, then I'll usually let you know that and say, you know what, I'm probably not your person right now, because this is what you need. And even if I can connect you with somebody, then I'll connect you with somebody, but I'm not your person right now. That happens in business all the time, where sometimes people will come to me and they want me to help them with their business, but they have no resources to pay me in exchange for my time. But they want me to come along, and they'll say, okay, come on, be a partner, be in business with me. But they don't have any money and we don't have a business yet. So I can't sign a business agreement with you to be your partner in business when you don't have a business yet. Now we can build the business, and then I usually will make that conversion. But I've had times where I've gotten burned, where I signed an agreement with somebody at the beginning to be their partner, didn't charge for services, built the business, and then we didn't solidify the partnership. So I'm just giving you all examples of how you can be of service. If I'm on your team, you can best believe that you're going to get more in service value than what I charge you or what it is that you pay. Guaranteed. Because I'm going to go way above and beyond. And most times, I was reminded by somebody the other day, said, Wendy, if you were working for our company, this is what we would charge for your services. And I said, oh, you guys are going to charge partnership level fees for my services if I join your company, but I'm not a partner. Okay. You want me to be a high price slave, but okay. Keen X Robin said that is having and knowing your emotional IQ. Yeah, your EQ, knowing it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Understanding and just knowing it, knowing where you are at the moment. I know, for example, in building and developing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, it is a huge endeavor. It takes a lot of spiritual and emotional and intellectual attention and focus. It's been 68 months that I've been working on this project, that I've been really all in, dedicating my entire life to the project. And so there's very little else emotionally that I can take on. So when I come to the table with people, it has to be an emotional give and take. I'm a giver anyway. So by just naturally, if we're interacting, I'm going to give to you. But if you're seeking deep favor and pulling and pulling and pulling, I have to go, you know what? Wherein my personality is the type that probably before this project, I would have allowed you to come and just pull, suck. But now I can't let you do it because I have so much attention and focus that I have to give to this project. Not only to make sure it's right, so that I'm clear and I can hear the downloads and what it is I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to go and who I'm supposed to be with and who's going to work. And it's one of those projects that's so alive that literally, let me put it this way. It literally just has a life of its own. It's so alive and it just moves around. Sister Aletha's been on the project for the beginning and she can bear witness. It literally just moves around pieces and chess pieces like we in a video game or something, literally. And we're going to be doing some filming coming up, and some of that I'm going to share because I was listening to I think it was 19 Keys and Billy Carson talking about that, or what Dr. Wesley, one of them, talking about the Anunnaki and how these gods used to function. And I literally was sitting there like, I can totally relate to that because I'm literally in a project that, imagine a chessboard. Sister Aletha said, she said, I definitely bear witness, Sister Sajdah. Literally, it's like we're sitting in a board game or a video game, whatever kind of game you want. And this project, whether you feel like it's Allah or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or whatever, is literally moving things around. So when people ask me for things or ask me to do things, I have people ask to use the space or whatever, it just lets me know. And if I'm going in the wrong direction, this is how sensitive it is. If I start going in the wrong direction in terms of, and Aletha can bear witness with this too, working with somebody or interacting with somebody about the project, literally, he'll just move them away. Just move them to another space. And maybe they can't get to the meeting. Maybe they can't meet anymore. Maybe they don't feel good. And all of a sudden, or maybe they just go silence. These kind of things happen all the time. Or then I was at the planning department for the city of Chicago the other day at Chicago Preservation, and somebody just walked out of a room and shared something with me that I needed to hear in that moment. So that's why I go back to this statement. Stop being at the mercy of someone's favor and be the reason doors are opening. Be the answer to someone's prayers. At that moment, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Um, and I was walking there and walking up, and yeah, she's right. And I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I had so much that I'm just trying to do in a short period of time, and um, some challenges and some answers I'm waiting for things. And I just was feeling a little frustrated and overwhelmed. And I'm walking through the hallway, and a woman steps out and she says, "Miss Muhammad." And I say, "Yes." And I say, "Yes." And all I'm thinking of is, okay, now what? And she proceeded to tell me what an inspiration I was for her, and how she listens to Coffee Talks, and she listens to the show. And when she misses, she goes back and checks out the reruns, and how it's helped her on her job, and how she is really admiring the emergence of spirituality and entrepreneurship. And she went into this whole rant, and I needed to hear that in that moment. So I was the reason that door opened for her. Literally, she came out of a door, and she was the reason the door opened for me, because she said, "I've been wanting to meet you." And then I went, and let me say this, she wasn't a Black woman. And then I went into the meeting that I was in. And then at the end, I had several people to say similar things to me. And I needed that right at that moment. And I needed it from the right people that it came from. And so literally, as they were talking to me, it took me a minute to not just kind of break down and cry, because right at that moment, I needed to hear that. Nobody in the room knew I needed to. Sometimes we suffer in silence. I went through a period over this 68 months that I'll talk about, where I literally was functionally depressed, because I'm listening, and I'm gonna go into it. When we do the filming, I'm gonna talk about it. So I understand functional depression. I understand presenting, but then on the inside, being challenged, having a heavy heart, listening for Allah, pulling for Allah, going, okay, what's next? Because you making moves. In my case, I'm making big, giant moves. And then I'm like, okay, Allah, what? what? And sometimes it takes a little time for me to line up and be who I need to be so that I can hear it. But it's real. And so we all go through that with our businesses. That's the life of an entrepreneur, right? We step out on faith. We got our plan together. We're working. And then all of a sudden we run into a snag. We run into something. And that snag threatens to tear down everything we've built, everything we've invested in. And so we're constantly trying to figure out what's next, what's our next best move. And so when I give you all these tips and tools, y'all know I got receipts. I'm telling you what I know. So I bought and paid for a lot of this information, so you all don't necessarily have to go through it. But I'm going to read that statement again. And I got this download about 2:00 this morning. Stop being at the mercy of someone's favor and be the reason doors are opening. Be the answer to someone's prayers. Someone has been waiting on somebody like you to come along. Stop being at the mercy of someone's favor. So stop going into your meetings, into your situation, begging for a favor. Stop begging God for a favor. And ask to be the reason that doors are opening. Be the reason that an opportunity comes about. Because when you're being the reason that a door opens and an opportunity comes about, look how many other people you're feeding and supporting just with your very presence, with your very prayer. A favor might be a one-sided thing. It might be a rugged individual thought. I just need this one favor. Just do it for me. I don't care about nobody else. But when you're praying that doors open because of your needs, or doors open because of your presence, guess what? How many other people are you blessing and feeding as a result of those doors open? Be the answer to someone's prayers. We talk about being the answers to our ancestors' prayers, being the answers to our parents' prayers, even some of the prayers that they didn't even know that they had. We're the answer to that. Somebody is praying for somebody just like you, just like me, to come along. And that's how we should walk the earth. Not in a narcissistic way, not in a sociopathic way, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that understands the powers of the universe and how things flow. All right, y'all. So I hope that helps us today, kind of kicks us off. We got Monday morning motivation. If you miss any of the past shows, go back and check them out and make sure that you share with people. Sister Nubia Latifa says, we don't always know who is watching us and inspired by us. You know, that is so true. And since I've been doing this podcast and this type of blogging since 2005, I just got the download that I should start doing it. And many of you all know I started off writing. There used to be a blog page that Oprah's network used to have, and I used to blog. I was one of the very first persons on Facebook to start posting motivational clips, even before Oprah was doing it, because I was actually on it was a software or something she had where you would just blog. And I would blog and talk about my journey, and then I would post like positive and uplifting quotes, because at that time people weren't doing that. We were on MySpace and Facebook, and it was all kind of ratchet. And I would put these things out here, and people would go in the comments and say, what are you talking about? This ain't what this for, and all this stuff. And then I moved to Blog Talk Radio, where it was just talking. And some of those episodes are still out there. If you go to Blog Talk Radio, I think I have some of them on my website. But I have all of those episodes, and I would just blog because the spirit just told me start blogging. And then I started having guests on the show where I had the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. This is way before the Mind of an Entrepreneur book and movement, and just talking about mindset, emotional intelligence, and all of that. And I just kept doing it. And then I went from there to radio. And so when I moved to DC, I ended up getting a radio show. So I was on Radio 1, WV. I just forget the call letters. I'm about to say WVOM, but that's not it. But I was on radio. I started off with 30 minutes, and then it moved into a 1-hour show once a week. And then we moved back to social media, which we were doing the IG Live stuff, and now it's video. And then now we're here, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, TikTok. Thank you, Brother Lamont. WOL 1450 is what I was on in DC. And now we're going to move to some additional stuff, which I'm not going to announce right now. And we're on more than one day a week. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because Sister Nubia Latifa says we don't always know who is watching us and who inspired us. I had a woman walk up to me at Power Networking Conference, and she said, I've been listening to you since Blog Talk Radio. And I was like, whoa. And she started talking about how she had been listening to me that long and how much it had inspired her. I had another person walk up to me one time, and they had in their phone one of the old blogs that I used to do when I was on that blog site with Harpo Studios. I've had opportunities, business people, all kind of people who would see me on here. So, don't Don't get caught up in numbers. I learned that very, very early on, because you never know who's watching. You know, these people always lie about numbers. If you don't buy ads, they don't always tell the truth. I get so many hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people who tell me that they watch and they're supportive, and the numbers don't reflect that. So don't get caught up in that, because sometimes it's that one person who needed to hear exactly what you're saying or exactly what we're on here interacting about, that sees us and gets inspired. You just never know. Okay. So thank you for that comment, Sister Nubia Latifa. Brother Anthony and Sister Karima said, "This is beautiful, Sister Sajda. Thank you so much." Brother Lamont said, "I was remembering when I could cast you on the TV and I could see you on the big screen." Um, you talking about on YouTube, Brother Lamont, or Roku TV? I'm not sure. You should still be able to cast right now through YouTube. Um, but I think you may be talking about Roku TV. I haven't kept Roku TV going because Roku had promised me that they would start monetizing after a while, and it just didn't. And I just thought, we're gonna pull back on that, because it doesn't make sense for me to pay to be on your network and you're not monetizing like you promised you would. So we dialed back on it. We got more content coming, some new platforms that we're going to be on. We got some podcasts we're doing for Sajdah House that are going to be really exciting. Shout out to WOL 1450 in DC. Oh, Brother Lamont, thank you so much for the gift. Thank you for the love offering. Everybody, look at Brother Lamont. Hit that button down in the corner, or you can go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises, and give a love offering. So if this means anything to you, give a love offering. Help with your support. He said, "Oh, on YouTube." I think you still can, Brother Lamont. I don't know what happened. You should probably check your YouTube account, and because I know my mom casts it, and a few other people, because people send me pictures of themselves casting the show for on YouTube to their television. So I think they just go to YouTube on their TV, especially if you got a Roku TV. You just hit the YouTube, and you can either watch it there, or you can do the cast thing on your Apple TV and cast to your television. There's other televisions that do that as well. But Sister Monica says, "Assalamu alaikum, was late this morning, but will definitely listen. This is powerful per usual. All praises due to Allah." Oh, he said, "I remember the first." I'm sorry, Brother Lamont. I misunderstood your comment. No, you can, but I was remembering the first time I could. Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I'm thinking you needed help casting. My bad. Thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you so much. So you just never know who's going to see you. I literally met my business partner that I built the hospital with on my Blog Talk radio show. Literally. He heard me and asked me, and had somebody ask me to help with his nonprofit. And then he ended up being a guest on the show. And then we ended up meeting up. And there's been so many clients like that I've met, many of you that I've developed relationships with. There's many people that have listened to this show and built their businesses. I was talking to somebody literally yesterday who now has their own engineering firm, and they've been listening since the very beginning. And they say, "I always listen and I use the guidance to build my firm." So I'm grateful to have my opportunity and my download and my inspiration from the universe to open doors for you. And I'm just so excited to do business with you all. I'm so excited to see you all be blessed. And y'all know every week I wish you more peace, more goodness, more love than you've ever experienced or imagined. I want you to have more peace than you ever imagined you could have. I want you to have more love in your life than you ever imagined that you could have. I pray that you have more money in your life that you ever imagined that you could have. I want you to be healthier than you ever imagined that you could be. At this age, I want you to be going, man, I look better and I'm more healthier and I feel more amazing than I ever imagined. I want you to have such a strong relationship with Allah God that it's greater than anything you've ever experienced or imagined. That is my blessing to you. And that is the energy that I send to you when you support my efforts and what it is that I am doing. And I pray that that is worth way more than anything that you pay for a webinar, any love offering. And y'all know I try my best to make sure that everything isn't expensive for you all, because I really want the information exchange. It does so much for me. The information exchange and the energy exchange. It does so much for me. But at the same token, I give away the game and I charge for services. So don't hit me up asking me to build your business for free, because I can't do it for free. All right. All right. Peace and blessings, family, and happy Saturday. Again, may you be blessed with more goodness than you've ever received or imagined. What we got here? Look, tune in Monday morning, give your love offering, support the commemorative Elijah coins. You're going to want this. I'm telling you, spring and fall, the time is coming. You're going to need this in order to be gaining access to some things. So make sure that you go and get it. Just go to supportsajdahhouse.com. If you need my help, my advisory services, if you want coaching, consulting, book a session and I'll give you a session free. Go to booksajdahwendymuhammad.com. All right. Peace and blessings and happy Saturday.
Thank you.